guys, welcome to the Something About Tuesdays podcast. I'm your host, Phebe Joi. Join me every other Tuesday for a lighthearted podcast to keep you company while you do your thing.
Hey guys, welcome back to Something About Tuesdays, episode 70. I'm your host, Phebe Joi, and hi, hey, and welcome. Hello, everyone. I was saying the episode number, episode 70, and I was like, that sounds pretty cool. That sounds good. I don't know what it is about that number. Maybe just the seven, maybe the fact that it's 70, like it's a 10, I don't know. But I was like, yeah, episode 70. That feels good. I like that. But hey, guys, welcome back. I hope your last couple of weeks have been good. Mine have been good and relatively busy. I cannot wait to jump in. In fact, I am recording this on a Sunday night. Normally, I do not wait this long to record because, once I record, I don't have as much time to edit. And I just don't want to, wait until the last minute. But I was like, my baby shower was yesterday, and I want to share with you guys about that. But also, of course, everything leading up to that. So it's a kind of a late a late record for me, but this will still, come out at the regular time. But I got to tell you all about these last couple weeks, just about what's been going on in my little brain and the baby shower, which y'all know, like I'm not going to jump into it now because I want to end on it and kind of like talk about it since that was the most recent thing. But you guys, I had a baby shower. Like what? You guys, I had a baby shower. Like what? Like what is that? So anyway, so I can't wait to share that with you guys. And yeah, and so let's jump right in. First thing that I want to share with you guys was when we last talked, it was still October. It's November now. And we've had a transition from October to November in the last couple weeks since we've talked. My dad's birthday was coming up, and we went out to eat at Malone's. Okay. Now, this is pretty common. I think we normally go for dad's birthday, but not very often, I would say, in between them. Like, other than dad's birthday, we don't really often go. Um, and so we went, and let me tell you, I know, starting out with food segment, what did I get? What did I get? Oh my goodness. Okay. So my brain had to go back and remember, and it remembered, and it was like, oh my goodness. Okay, so I ordered the crab linguine. Y'all know, like any fancy place I go for the crab first. So I ordered a crab linguine, and I think Hubs got like a burger. I think Mom got steak, maybe. I'm not sure. And then Dad got steak, burger, fish. Dad got fish. Yeah, he got a lot of fish. Okay, but that's beside the point. So with our meals comes a regular salad that they call it the Lexingtonian salad. Just picture it like a ranch salad. Lettuce, tomato, no cheese. What else was in there? Lettuce, tomato, and bacon bits. You guys, they're the bacon bits. Now I like the fake bacon bits because they're good. I mean, to me, they're just as good. The imitation ones, they're not real bacon bits, delicious. Real bacon bits I can do, but honestly, I don't like the store-bought kind because to me, they're very like fatty and chewy, and I don't like that. These bacon bits, they're either real bacon or very nicely well made real bacon bit. Like I don't know how, I don't know what happens behind the scene in that kitchen to get their bacon bits to look and to taste as delicious as they looked and tasted. But the bacon bits made the salad. And this is important. This is important to the story because I thought it would just be a regular ranch salad, right? So I said, you know what? I'm not going to um I would prefer to go ahead and upgrade, pay the extra $5 and switch to a Caesar salad. Now the Lexingtonian salad was free refills. They're like, we'll bring you as much as you will eat. Remember that. Well, the Caesar salad is not free refills, which I did not realize, but I was like, give me the Caesar salad. So he brings out the salad. We ordered our food. It comes, the salads come before the entree. I get my Caesar salad, and he brings out the Lexingtonian. I eat like the ranch salad for everybody, and it just looks amazing. I mean, you guys, I was like, oh, that looks good. The lettuce was looking crisp, and bacon bits were just looking phenomenal. The tomatoes were looking very red and ripe, and I was like, that looks good. And my Caesar salad, don't get me wrong, looked great. Great croutons, had the Parmesan, had the Caesar. And I got half of it. I split it with my husband. I got the Lexingtonian, and let me just say, so I ate my Caesar salad and it was good. Y'all, I ate that Lexingtonian salad and I was like, this this salad is phenomenal. And y'all, I think it's called the Lexingtonian. Why should it be called something different? I think that's what it's called. For the rest of this episode, let's refer to it as the good ranch salad. Just in case I'm pronouncing it wrong and the whole time y'all are screaming at me across the phone. No, it's not that. Um so it was delicious. And so when we asked for refills, I was like, I'll go ahead and do my refill of the Caesar, but they were like, it's not a free refill. I was like, oh, but the Lexingtonian was, oh, sorry, the good ranch salad was. So they said, we'll bring that back out. So they did. And everybody at the table ate it. And when you just have something and it just literally just hits the spot. And I was like, you know what? This is really good. We had finished off that one, and then I think that our waiter guy came back and he was like, "You guys want another one?" And the rest of my table, they're like, "Fine." Mom, dad, hubs, they're like, "No, we're good." And I was like, "You know what? Go ahead and bring another one of them salads." Y'all tell me why. I think we ended up I say we. I ended up ordering maybe 3 more of those salads. Like legit, it became my meal. When they brought out my meal, I ate some of my crab linguine, good. I ate some of the Brussels sprouts that were amazing, by the way. And but I filled myself up on that salad and I was like, I'm gonna keep eating this salad because I can warm up my linguine and it will be good later, right? Um, I'll warm up the Brussels sprouts and those will be good later. I cannot warm up a salad and you don't want to take a salad home because usually it withers and it's not very good, right? And so I was like, let me eat this amazing salad while I'm here. I don't know why that ranch salad hit the spot, but it was hitting the spot. And my family, they were like, wow. When you're sitting across the table from somebody and you're just looking at them like, I'm slightly in awe at at the level of food that you can eat. And I went in, and normally, you're like, I don't need that. Like, we don't, I don't need it. So you don't, because you're like, oh, I can do other things. I can eat other things. I did not let that hold me back. Anytime they asked, do you want another one? Yes, please. And they'd bring out a big old bowl and I would just destroy it. What just made it perfect was at the end when we boxed up things to go. Our waiter, he must have noticed I really like the salad. He brought me out a box of salad, like with the dressing on the side, the bacon bits on the side, everything on the side with the lettuce in there, looking nice and crisp. And I didn't even ask for it. And he brought it out just knowing. And we laughed. And I was like, good looking out. Like, yes. And let me tell you, I had it the next day for lunch and it was just as phenomenal. I took a picture and I sent it to my mom and dad. And I was like, look what I'm eating for lunch the next day. And it was amazing. I had to eat it for lunch because my crab linguine that I took home and my Brussels sprouts that I took home, those are foods that you cannot have for lunch. As good as they would be for lunch, you cannot do that for the people that you work with, right? Can you imagine a crab smelling and Brussels sprouts smelling at your work? Like, I would not do that to people. And where our microwave is, it's not in our teacher's lounge because we're upstairs in a different room, the ELD team. So it would directly affect my my teammates, and they would be like, "What in the world is this?" So I did not take that, but I did end up having it for dinner later. But that salad hit the spot. There's nothing quite like a good ranch salad, and the salads have been hitting me lately. They've been really good. If you get some good crisp lettuce, fresh lettuce, and just a really nice ranch, I don't know what it is, but that's been just a good combo for me lately. It's been so delicious. So I thought I would share that. So if you go to Malone's and they offer you the endless salad, I believe it's the Lexingtonian, then get that. The Caesar will be good. It wasn't bad at all, but that Lexingtonian salad, that good ranch salad was so good and it hit the spot. So I would suggest that for you. And yeah, and I totally am like, because I don't mind leftovers. In fact, I love them because that means I don't have to cook or think about at least one meal. Um, I love filling up on stuff. I'm starting to be like, you know what? I'm gonna fill up on the breadsticks and the salad and simply eat a little bit of my meal and take it home because why not? It's like 2 meals in one, right? With the price of these things, yes, we got to take advantage. But anywho, so that was for Dad's birthday. And what's terrible? So I had we got hubs. We had gotten Dad a gift, and after we went to eat, I was like, okay, let's go to the car, and I'm gonna give you your gift. Y'all, I had left the gift at home. I mean, I was like, what? Like, we came out literally for your birthday. I remember bringing, like, saying, do not forget this bag of gift. Do not forget it. And on my way out, I set it on the table that's like by the door. to, I think, go put on some perfume or something. And then on the way out, didn't pick it back up. I was like, "Are you serious with me right now? Are you serious?" So I had to wait to give dad his gift. But other than that, we did have a good time. Dad got his free like cookie, and they brought out, and I think I've mentioned the cookie before, probably last year. It's this sea salt caramel. No, it wasn't caramel. I think caramel was in it. Sea salt chocolate chip cookie is what they call it, but I do think there's caramel in it. Um, Huge, massive cookie. We split it between the four of us. I mean, it was really good, really big, soft and warm. They bring it with ice cream if you want it. Definitely enjoyed that. So happy birthday to my dad as of last month. Shout out to him. We had a very good dinner. All of that went good, and I definitely enjoyed it. Now, speaking of cookies. So, you guys know I'm a big cookie fiend. I love cookies. Your basic chocolate chip cookie, as long as it's made well, love it. Well, I had a friend of mine at work who knows that I like cookies. And so he and his wife had made some cookies, or some cookie dough. They're like, we made the dough literally because we wanted to eat cookie dough. But they're like, if we're going to have cookie dough, we might as well make the cookies. And he's like, and if we're going to make the cookies, we might as well give them out. And he was like, I know that you really like cookies. So he brought me some chocolate chip cookies. And he's like, he said, haven't tried it. We've eaten the dough and the dough is really good. But I haven't tried it myself. And he's like, so if they're bad, just look past it. Y'all, so I bit into that cookie and it took me straight back to, I believe, eighth grade home ec, which is home economics, which is when we were learning to cook. And one of the things that we got to cook was a snickerdoodle cookie. And we had to follow a recipe. And I tell you what, I followed this recipe, I thought to a T. And when I made this cookie in the home ec class, it came out and it was just as salty as I'll get out. This was before sea salt was a thing, okay? And I remember being like, this snickerdoodle, it's good. It was a good cookie, but it was salty. And I was like, what did I do? The cookie that I ate from my friend, it was good, but it was salty. But did it stop me from eating it? No, because it brought back memories for one. But then like I kind of liked, I don't know, I liked the saltiness with the sweet. Like there's you could tell it was still a cookie, right? But it was still like a salty cookie. So I was like, this is hilarious. I told my friend the next day, I said, I ate the cookie. I was a bit on the salty side. He was like, yeah. I was like, but it was really good. And it took me back to my eighth grade home ec class when I made cookies. And I tell you what, I have used that same recipe probably like three other times. And I think the recipe has to be wrong because every time I've made it, it's been salty and the cookies were really thin. Like one time I think two of the times I've made it, they were really thin and like crunchy, which is fine, but y'all know I'm like a fluffy, soft cookie person. Um, but alas, so that was just a memory. That was just me remembering and thinking about cookies. And since we're sent again, we are still talking about cookies. I have to give a shout out to a couple of friends who bought me a crumble cookie gift card again. So this is funny. I was like, wow, people are really getting into this, getting me a crumble cookie gift card. And I was like, I love it. Like, how do they know that this is something that I like? Like, I assume they know that I like crumble cookie, right? They know I like cookies. But I just was surprised at just how personal, it felt. And my mom was like, I added it to your baby registry. I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, like I added it where people could give you gift cards to Crumble Cookie. And I was like, "What?" First off, I didn't even know that was an option. I was like, "Oh, thank you, Lord." Like, okay, good job, mom. Um, but like it started to make sense and I was so excited. So thank you to anyone out there who has given me a crumble cookie gift card via the registry. I appreciate it. I received it. And you guys are not helping with me managing weight during this time. But at the same time, who cares? Because cookies are good. No, really though. Thank you to, I know Cassie, thank you so much. And Katie, thank you so much for the crumble cookie gift cards. And it's very much appreciated. And I definitely will be stopping by. I've already used one. I've already used one. And I'll continue to use the rest. I can't wait to like look at the different flavors because sometimes I do look, you guys, and I'm like, I would like to try it, but crumble cookies not cheap. Okay, it's like $6 for like a cookie, like five something is ridiculous. But I do. Y'all know I just like the crumble cookie. I like it. And so I'm very thankful for those who did get me my crumble cookie gift cards. And shout out to mom. Good looking out again for putting that even on the registry. I didn't even know that was an option. So thank you, Ma, for looking ahead to that. But anywho, you guys. So now I wanted to say, you might still hear in my voice, like my voice is still a little scraggly. It's definitely not back to where it was. My nose is still a little stuffy, not back to where it was. And y'all, part of that is I think it's because the outside fools me. It gets me. It captures me and then it gets me sick. So when I think our last episode, I was going to be going to our church fall party at the park the next day. And so I went and it was fun. And let me say, I love church fall parties because it's so good. It's just a good time to fellowship with people outside of the church, like church people, but like you win just time to talk because you want to talk after church a lot, right? Or before church. And sometimes you run out of time because you have your service or you got to go somewhere or y'all got to go out to eat or you got something to do after church or whatever. So while you want to talk to the people that you spend a lot of time with throughout the week, you don't always have the time to do so. And so to have the fall picnic is a great way to, share that and make up those conversations and chat with people and catch up with people. And so we were able to do that. So we went outside and it was probably like 60s, I think, low 60s. And I had on like a sweater and maybe a shirt underneath. Didn't have on a coat, didn't have on nothing else. I think I did. Did I wear my boots? I think I did wear my boots. And it was cute. It was a cute little outfit, and I believe it kept me warm. I didn't feel cold the whole time. I felt comfortable. And but let me say, so that was Sunday. Come Monday, Tuesday, y'all, my voice and my nose and everything, and I was like, oh no, I'm starting to get sick. And then the kids started like coughing on me and sneezing on me and breathing on me. And I was like, oh boy, here it comes. Like I had just had a conversation with our neighbors about about not getting sick so far in the school year. And I was like, I think I spoke too soon. And so, you guys, the outside was beautiful. The weather was beautiful. The trees were beautiful. All of it was beautiful. But I think it affected me. Like, it affected my nose. It affected my throat. It said, haha, like, we know that you enjoy being outside in the cold, but we're still going to make you feel it later. And so I did. I managed to get through most of the week, going to work and everything. Luckily, I had that Friday off, which that was Halloween. And I had a doctor's appointment, which I gotta tell you all about that too here in a minute. But I had an appointment, and so I went ahead and took the whole day, which I'm glad that I did, because I gotta tell y'all two things. But anyway, so I went ahead and took that whole day, and then Saturday, I mean, it hit. By Friday night, I was like, "Oh boy, I'm tired. My body's tired. I'm feeling sick." So Saturday, I pretty much spent the whole day in bed, feeling like, ugh. I just, y'all, I couldn't. I was so tired, and my throat and it wasn't sore. Like my throat's not sore. It doesn't hurt. It's just very dry and scratchy, and I've had this cough. Y'all know the cough that just doesn't seem to go away, the cough that hits the most at nighttime when you're trying to sleep. That cough, yes, that one. I have that cough with my sinuses being clogged. So that was Saturday, and I felt the same Sunday, so I did stay home Sunday. I watched most of the service online. I did drift in and out of sleep. I'll admit I did a little bit, but I did watch most of the service online. And y'all, I was I was so tired and my throat was so sore. And I was like, this is what happens. This is what happens when I get excited about the weather. So I spend all day out in it, and then my body's like, why'd you do that? But anywho, so again, I am slowly recovering. We're getting there. It's so slow though, because that was last week. 2 weeks ago, I was feeling that, and then this past week, it's kind of been the same. Like I said, you can still kind of hear it in my voice, and so I'm like, oh my goodness, I wonder how long this will last. Hopefully, I'll get through it quickly. We will see. If by the next episode, I'm still like, you guys, my voice. Like, oh boy, we're gonna have to figure something else out. But anywho, so I did want to say, so I went to my hematologist. My only story there is they sent me to a different office. So it wasn't my regular, like, older generation office. It was like a more modern one. And I go there and it was modern vibes, y'all. And I was like, I don't know if I like this. It was fine. There was still, I didn't see as many older people there. There were still older people there, but there was somebody who was maybe like 10 years older than me. There's somebody like my age. The front desk lady was like, she looked like she was 19, instead of the older lady that is usually there. And it was fine, and that office was fine, but I was like, "It's not my regular peeps," like, this is different vibes, but it still ended up being okay. But anywho, so that was on Halloween, and that went fine, and, as far as Halloween, I don't celebrate or do anything with Halloween, so I didn't do anything that day. I'm sure some people did. The one thing I did do, and I was like, "I feel like this is an appropriate day to do it," was on Facebook, I posted a picture. You guys know the emoji of the pregnant lady. She's wearing a purple shirt and you can change her skin tone or whatever, but she's like holding her belly and she's just got a purple shirt on. Well, I literally have like, it looks like the exact same purple sweater. Like it's a rounded neck, long sleeves, solid purple. And I was like, I gotta. And the way my hair was, like I just had it out. I was like, I gotta. So I did take a picture of myself with the purple shirt on. And then I put it right next to the emoji of the pregnant purple lady. And I was holding my belly like she was holding her belly. And I did post that. So that's the only thing that's kind of like, okay, like I did sort of dress up as someone. But so that was that day. And I did like how I looked in that picture. I thought it was kind of a cute connection. So that was then. That was that Friday. On the same day, mom and sister came over and gave me quite the little pampering. Okay. I knew that my baby shower was coming up in a week. And I was like, there are things that I want to get it done. I want to get my nails done. I was like, I want to get my hair done. I need to pluck my chin. Y'all know. I was like, gotta get rid of this beard. I was like, okay, there are certain things that I want to get done so that way I feel my best. I want to get my eyebrows done, make sure they're nice and shaped, and not these bushy caterpillars that they haven't been, just the little things that sometimes you let go when your mind is on other things. And so that day, mom did come over and my sister came over and she made dinner for us and she cleaned up my car. So she took some time to clean up my car. I was like, thank you, sister. While mom was doing my hair and my husband, he walked in, he was like, oh my goodness, you are so spoiled. I was like, yes, I am. So mom did my hair, it took a few hours, of course. And then my sister, she cleaned out my car and then she made dinner. And I have to tell you guys about this like very cute dinner idea, which I think would be great if you have like kids. It felt like something easy, something good for kids, something good even for like a quick lunch. And it was homemade mini chicken barbecue pizzas, but in the oven that you can take. It takes like 6 to 7 minutes. 6 to 7. Oh my gosh, I said 6, 7. Oh my goodness. If I was a middle school, I'd be like 6, 7. Anywho, sorry y'all. I know I triggered some of y'all right there. But so the way you make it is you use like the tortillas. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting idea. So you get a tortilla. We had little mini tortillas. That's just all that we had. So we had a mini tortilla, and my sister would put barbecue sauce on the tortilla. She put shredded chicken, like shredded rotisserie chicken is what we had, just leftover rotisserie chicken. She cut up some onions and put that on there, and then she covered it with mozzarella cheese and put it in the oven for like, she said between 6 and 10 minutes, depending how crispy you want it. And that was it. And they tasted really good. It was like, I don't know. It was good. I wouldn't call it like a barbecue chicken taco because the tortilla was toasted and it was flat and she cut it into like little triangles. But I don't know, it was like a really good, like cute little dinner snack. I don't know what it was, but I ate like two or three of them. They was that good. Um, but yeah, so if you want something quick and easy, that you think your kids might like, or you want to make like I don't know, like I don't think pepperoni would be very good with it because I don't think the grease from the pepperoni with the tortilla would be great. I don't think it'd be bad. I just don't think it would be great. But for like the chicken barbecue pizza part, I think that would be really good. I also think another idea would be like a buffalo chicken pizza. Like, I can see that being good and crispy because it's kind of like a buffalo dip on top of like their tortilla. Like, I could see that being pretty good too. So, just throwing that out there if you want like a quick meal that you want to try and you're just like, oh, let me do this snack real quick or let me do this lunch. Um, for a family, I don't know that I would make it for like dinner. Unless, like I said, for kids, I think it'd be great for kids for dinner. Supplement it with a little side salad and that would be phenomenal. Um, but yeah, it was really good. I'm glad my sister introduced that to me because I plan on doing it again. I was like, I really liked that. And it was super simple, super easy, and it did not take long. And that y'all know that's the life that I'm about. So yeah, so shout out to Mom and Beth for pampering me that weekend or that day, especially since I was starting to feel like bad. I definitely do appreciate that. And then, like I said, so that next day I was like sick and not feeling well. But so this past week, though, I'm like, okay, I've got to continue. I called it my baby shower prep, baby shower self care prep. And I have to tell you all this story about me getting my nails done. Okay, let's start with the whole reason we had this day off. So last Wednesday, our city was hit with a tragedy. One of our airplanes, a UPS airplane, actually crashed and exploded into a couple of buildings and killing people and injuring people. And when that happened, I believe it was Tuesday night. So school was canceled the next day. I'm glad that it was just for safety reasons, just for community healing reasons. Like just, when something like that big and unexpected and tragic happens, I don't think you have to go on as normal. So I'm glad that the school recognized that. Now we had school the next day after that. We did go to school that Thursday, but for that initial day afterward, they were like, let's cancel school to make sure one, all the area is safe, schools are safe, air quality, water, all of that for the students, but also for the benefit of the community. So I definitely appreciate our school district doing that. So we had that Wednesday off. But I still had an appointment. I had a doctor's appointment that morning, bright and early at 7:30. So while some people got to sleep in, I still had to get up super early. I was quite tired. But Mom and I went to my doctor, my high risk doctor, and got to see my girl get her checked out, and everything was looking good, and that was good. But after that, I was like, okay, let's get some things done for the baby shower that we need to get done. Like I need to pick up some stuff for my sister was making a soup. So I was like, let me go ahead and pick up some stuff for her to make that soup and just some errands to run. Let me return y'all. I bought these boots off Amazon that I was so excited about, and I got them in, and they were way too small. And I don't think they were too small because I'm pregnant and my feet are big because my feet haven't gotten that big. But they were way too small and I was really sad. So I had to return them. So I had to do a return and then I was like, I want to get my nails done while I've got the time, let's get my nails done. So Mom and I went to Walmart to buy the stuff for my sister's soup or my soup for the baby shower. And while we were there on the way out, we were about to head to get my nails done at where my mom goes, which was about 20 minutes away. And when she made the comment, have you ever gotten your nails done here at Walmart? And I was like, no, I haven't. And she's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, let's save the gas money. Let's just throw the stuff in the car, come back in and get my nails done at Walmart. Okay. Okay, so we come back in. I talk to the people. I show them I want it and pretty much as natural as possible. Just called the American manicure. Like French manicure is very stark. I was like, I want it to look just kind of like my natural nail, but with the gel and like a little bit, just nice looking natural nail. And they were like, cool, we got you. And the lady was like, okay, do you want a manicure and with the gel? I said yes. And she's like, do you want your cuticles cut? And I was like, or done. And I was like, yeah, like every other time I think I've gotten a manicure, they've done the cuticle stuff. And, usually I think helps the nail pop out a little more, looks nice or whatever. So I was like, yeah, let's do that. So she sits me down. She gets my fingers nice and wet, She gets my nails nice and wet, and she shapes them a little bit. They're already a little shaped. And then she leaves, and this guy comes up. And he looks, I mean, I won't say nervous. He looks inquisitive and kind of nervous. And he sits down and he gets the little cuticle nail tool and he starts to do my cuticles. And right off the bat, I'm like, oh, he don't know what he doing. And this is why I say that. If you've ever gotten a manicure, when they do the cuticle stuff, for the most part, they're very quick. They're like snip, 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 grab, 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 grab. It doesn't hurt at all. It just feels like a pulling and they're very fast. This guy was slow as molasses. And it hurt. Yeah, getting your cuticles clipped should not hurt. But he was like, it didn't hurt every time, but it hurt enough for me to be like, I don't think he's cutting this right. And the fact that he was going so slow, I was like, you're going slow to be careful, which means you don't know what you're doing, which means you probably are cutting the wrong part of my nail. So already I'm like, oh my goodness, like I can tell he's just because I'm trying not to look. I don't want to intimidate him. I'm looking off into the distance, being like everything is okay, knowing that there's moments where I'm like, ow, that hurt. Oh my goodness, ow, that hurt. Well, of course, as you can imagine, if you have someone who doesn't know what they're doing, clipping your cuticles, one, they're gonna hurt, but two, if you get too crazy, they're gonna bleed. Huh? Well, he got to my thumbnail and he clipped it the wrong spot and it just starts bleeding. And so he's like, oh, so he's dabbing it and he's like, and he brings over the lady and the lady's like, oh, okay. And I bring over my mom. I'm like, Mom, come hang out with me because she was sitting further back. I was like, just come sit next to me. And so he's like, okay. So he goes and gets the other lady and she comes back and she's like, oh, okay. So she takes over from there. She's like, let me just take over. So she, gets my nail to, for the most part, stop bleeding. She puts something on it. I don't know what she puts on it. She goes back and starts, putting the natural polish on it. And then she goes back to clip my cuticles and like correctly. And I can tell she knows what she's doing because she's doing it fast and she's getting it right. But even though she knows what she's doing, he's already kind of like half damaged my nails. She gets to my one nail. I think is it my middle finger? I can't remember. Yeah, it was my middle finger. She gets to that nail and unintentionally, like I didn't even feel it. She does something and when I say like the entire like cuticle bottom half of the nail just starts like just profusely bleeding. I was like, I couldn't even tell because she was like, and kind of not, I wouldn't say hiding it, but she was dabbing it. And then I did look down and oh my gosh, my finger was a bloody mess. And I was like, oh my goodness. And she apologizes. She's like, I'm so sorry. I was like, "It's okay, it happens." You guys, we sit there for like 10 minutes and this nail is not stopping bleeding. She puts this powder stuff on it, which said something about fungal or whatever, and which I'm like, "Thank you." She puts it on that one. She puts it on the other, on the thumb that had bled a little bit, and she's just like dabbing it. So she sits it on there. She lets it sit for like a minute or two. Then she tries to wipe it off, which I guess is supposed to help dry or like keep it from bleeding, clotting it. No, you guys, it kept going. As soon as she'd wipe it off, it's like, whoop, there we go again. And it was like continuous. So we did this for 10 minutes. Then finally she was like, I think she got it to a slow down point. And she's like, okay, go ahead and wash your nails. So I went to go wash my hands and nails, and it's bleeding, and like while I'm washing my hands, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And he hands me a towel, and I feel so bad because it's a white towel, and I'm drying off my hands and just getting blood all over. I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, I am so sorry, but I'm like, at the same time, this is your fault. So I go back to sit down. And like I said, she'd already put the polish on it. So she's adding more of the fungal stuff on it, powder on it, some disinfectant stuff on it. I don't know. She's like, I'm so sorry. She said, I'll take $10 off, and I was like, thanks. And then in the end, she never really gets us to stop bleeding. She puts the powder stuff on it that kind of clots it a little bit, but she's like, leave the powder stuff on for about 10 minutes or 2 minutes or 10 minutes. I can't remember what she said, and take it off then. And I was like, okay. And that let me know that they were done. So then they went to go pay, and which I was kind of like, y'all should either give me this for free or half off at least. But I went ahead and paid. Of course, there was like the tip on there. Y'all, I didn't leave a tip. I'm sorry if that offends you. I was like, but I was like, why would I leave a tip when you left me in a bloody massacre? Like my nails are like my cuticles are all messed up. And I looked, you guys, afterward I looked and they are like already like I have hangnails on like every nail because of this cuticle stuff. And because all I got was like a gel. I didn't get acrylics or anything. Like the gel part, it hasn't even been a week out. Well, I think it's been a week. No, it hasn't been a week because that was Wednesday is already kind of starting to peel. Like I'm like, oh my goodness. And at the same time, I'm like, what? I guess that's kind of what you get when you go to Walmart to get your nails done. And the thing was, you guys, the Walmart one was more expensive than the last one I went to. You guys remember the last one I went to where it was the Hispanic ladies who spoke Spanish and they did great. That was like $40. Okay. This Walmart one was 45. Now she gave me $10 off, so it ended up being 35. But I was like, what? Like, how you charging more than this other nail place? And then how you like, and then make my nails bleed, which I get. Like, okay, I can see that happening, but it's like almost every nail. So the story's not over. So that's fine. We leave there. He's like, he gives me a little punch card and he's like, come back. And I'm like, thank you. Y'all, I can't go back. But so I go home and my nails are, when I, like my fingered nail beds are like stinging, not just the ones that are bleeding, but the other ones that got cut but didn't bleed, but they still hurt. So I go to mom's house. We're going there to drop off the food. And so she's like, let's put some hydrogen peroxide on this stuff. Mom put it on every nail. And like of my 10 nails, like six of them, five or six of them just start immediately like stinging and like bubbling up. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I cannot get an infection from this. I cannot get. I was like, good Lord. I'm like, okay, yes, please get all the bacteria out. They're like stinging. I'm like, oh my goodness. I tell my mom, we leave it on there for a little bit and then we rinse it off. And then she comes in with the Neosporin and we put Neosporin on every nail bed. And then we put, and then we put a Band-Aid on the ones that were bleeding. And that was, you guys, that was my my lovely trying to get my nails done debacle. I was like, you guys, I just wanted nice nails. That's it. I just wanted some cute nails from my baby shower. Um, and it turned into a bloody mess here. It was a mess. But anyway, so then also later that night, I think it was that night or the next day, I do the same little treatment and I put the like peroxide on my nails and probably like only four of them stung this time, but they were still stinging, y'all, like a day later. And I put the Neosporin on. I did the same treatment. I was like, oh my goodness. Anywho, you guys, but the nails, they did great. They did a very nice, what I consider natural shade. It looked very and then like they did great, shade wise, gel wise, what I asked for. It was just the rest of the, cutting off all my cuticles and making my nails bleed and leaving hangnails part that, wasn't as appealing. So that was that. So you guys, so at this point, I have my nails done. I did get my eyebrows done. The lady did good there. Got them threaded. That's where I go is to get them threaded at Walmart. Walmart is like a go-to though. So Walmart took care of me for my baby shower. They did some of my food. They did my nails. They did my brows. So thank you Walmart coming in clutch, even though with some mishaps here and there. So yeah, so that was that. And that's leading right into the baby shower. There's only a couple more things I want to share before we get to the baby shower. We're on that Wednesday before, so we are very close. So there's probably like two to three things I want to share right in between here. So one is just a very quick school story. I was working with a kid in first grade and we were saying things like the mom, the dad, the sister. We were identifying characters in the story, and he was writing, and he wrote, well, let's see, he wrote DMOM, DKIDON, like moon. And I was like, why is he putting a D in front of everything? I said, okay, who are these characters? He said, the mom, the cat, the moon. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, this is stuff you hear or see in like a TV show or, oh no, like a cartoon. No, because we say like the cat, the dog, but he says the cat, the dog, the moon, and he was hearing that sound. He was hearing the duh sound and he was putting that down. And I was like, oh, you don't need the D because that's not a D. I was like, it's not we're not saying the mom, we're saying mom, but we're identifying as she's the mom. Like and I had to say that to him because he was writing that on like everything. And at first I thought it was cute. I was like, oh my goodness. I thought it was cute that he was using his sounds to be able to hear the duh or the, the mom. But I also thought it was funny that in his brain it was like one word, the mom, the dog, the cat. Like, this is how you spell it. This is what you do. And I was like, no, no, little man, that is not what happens. But I thought that was cute that he at least tried to do that. But the other thing I wanted to share is I don't know if I'd call it a life hack or just something that I've done the last couple of days. So I've mentioned, my throat's been sore, and I've been, stuffy or okay, my throat's not been sore, but it's been tired. I don't know. It's been dry, all those things. And so I've been, doing my cough drops and stuff. And I might have mentioned this before, but if I hadn't, I'll throw it out there again. So I have my apple cider. This is just a quick thing. And it seems to go well with apple cider. I don't know that I would do it with any other drink. But if you get an apple cider, like just your instant cup of apple cider, and throw in a cough drop, the cough drop will melt with your apple cider. And for some reason, like the lemon of the cough drop or the cherry, I think I've done them with both, mixes really well with cider. So it doesn't taste super, like it doesn't ruin the taste of the cider, but you get like the benefit, I think, of the cough drop, but in liquid form. And it like it's the cider is good and it smoothly goes down your throat. And I think it coats it with some of that cough drop stuff. So I would just as a thing, I've done it this last time. I literally right now I have a cup of apple cider in front of me that I put a cough drop in that I will be sipping on here and there. And I think it's just a cool little life hack to get the benefit of the cough drop without having to like suck on it because I'm terrible. I'm terrible at sucking on stuff. Like cough drops, mints, anything. I suck on it for 2 seconds and I crunch and chew and swallow it. Like I can't suck on it forever, you know? And so for me, I think it works better. Like I feel, at least anecdotally, feel like there is no evidence um other than just me personally feeling like, okay, I think this is coating my throat and I think it's like, to me, it feels better. It feels good. And so throwing that out there to you, if your throat's just a little scratchy or sore or whatever, get you a tea or get you an apple cider. Apple cider, I think so far is the best tasting with it. Throw a cough drop in that cup while it's hot, let it melt and just let it soothe your throat all the way down. So that's just a life hack or a suggestion for you guys. And then the other thing I wanted to share before I jump into baby shower is, okay, I don't know what triggered this thought. And I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it on the podcast before, but do you guys know that song, Children Go Where I Send Thee? Okay, if you don't know, it's a fun little song, and I'm pretty sure I've sang it on here before, and I would sing it, but y'all, really, my voice is shot. But it's something like, "Children go where I send thee, how will I send thee? Oh, I'm gonna send thee two by two, 'cause the two was a Paul and Silas, one was a little bitty baby." Born in Bethlehem. Y'all remember that? But it goes, I think, all the way up to 10. Y'all, I can't remember them. I was like, oh, I don't know what triggered it, but I was like, one time I was coming home from work, and next thing I know, I'm in my garage, and I mean, top of my lungs, singing, "Children go where I send thee," how will I send thee? Oh, and I made it to, I think, three. I was 3 or 4. I think I said four was the four that stood at the door, but I don't know if that's right. Three was the Hebrew children. I was like, three was the Hebrew children. Two was Paul and Silas. One was a little bitty baby. Those like little round robin songs. They're not round robin. I don't know what you call them, but like when you go back and repeat the same thing over and over, like the 12 days of Christmas, which you guys, I'm not trying to talk Christmas yet, but we are getting there. And I'm just randomly throwing it in here. The 12 days of Christmas song. Oh my goodness. Are we really getting into Christmas? What is going on? Some people have already decorated because it's November, y'all. It's November. Y'all, let's take a minute and think about it's November. Oh my goodness. And it's almost like mid-November. What in the world? What in the world? Anyway, so some people have already started Christmas decorating. I have not because I wanted to keep my fall theme through my baby shower because my baby shower is fall themed. And so I'm glad that I did that. I took pictures and okay, we're going into the baby shower. Okay. So anyway, so fall, it's not Christmas yet, but you guys, we're getting there. We are getting there. But anyway, back to so children go where I send thee, how will I send thee? I can't remember the different ones. And I was like, I refuse to Google and chat GBT it until I think about it. And I'm gonna figure out some of these. So I thought I would think about it and I thought I would figure out some of them. I have not. I don't know what the 10, I think the 10, I mean, the only thing I can think of are 10 are the 10 commandments. The 9 had stood in a line, 8 at the gate, 7 was a 7 that hopefully made it to heaven, not didn't make it to heaven. 6 was a 6. I don't think it was pick up sticks. That's what came to my head. 6 was a 6 and picked up sticks. I don't think that's right, but it rhymes. And I don't know what 5 would be, and 4 door, like 3 was the Hebrew children. I do know that. 2 was Apollos, Silas, and 1 was a little bitty baby. But anyway, I thought about that song. And if you know that song, I want you to think about it because that's a fun song. That'll give you some memories. You'll be like, oh, this is fun. Um, so anyway, so I just thought I'd throw that out there for anyone who knew it, just to bring that back to your memory and, and let you think and enjoy on that. And if you know the words, feel free to send them to me. I probably will at some point break down and be like, okay, my brain doesn't remember. Let me go look it up, and I'll go look it up and do that and think about what all the ones are and how wrong I got them. But anywho, so all right, so me getting home from work on Friday. And so Saturday was my baby shower. And this one I would say is my mostly my church led baby shower, like mostly my church people. I had some school friends come, yay. But I do know I'll have a school one later in a couple weeks, which I'm excited about too. Not just the fact this is a baby shower, but the fact that it's like, wow, like I can't believe we're to the point where I can actually have a baby shower, right? But anywho, so this one was, like I said, mostly my church family. I did have some family come in. Shout out to Auntie Toy and Kinsey. I had some of my school friends come, which was awesome, and then just friends here and there, and I had a friend come all the way from PA. Shout out Vance, thank you for coming. And a lot of people who couldn't make it, but they sent messages and gifts and sent me lots and lots of love, which is exciting and great overall. W Leading up to the baby shower, so I was like, "I gotta get myself ready," which I did. I did the best I could. I had my dress. My theme was falling in love with baby, as I've mentioned. I wanted to really jump on the fall theme. My dress was this, kind of like a burnt orange dress, because I was like, "That's the color I wanna wear. I wanna wear orange. I don't wanna wear pink." I didn't wanna do typical pink, even though I'm having a baby girl. I was just like, we did the pink and blue during the gender reveal, like, that was enough for me. Her room's gonna be pink, that's enough for me. I was like, I I want this I want a different theme, and so I did that, and I did the orange and kind of greens and things, and, um, so I gotta start out by saying that my team, I had my friend Emily from church, and Jessica, and my sister Bethany, and Elizabeth, and my childhood bestie Kimberly. They, they are the ones who led it up, and they did a phenomenal job. The decor was stunning, and I know a lot of that had to do with my, Emily's sister-in-law. She does, like, decor for, like, weddings and events, and they got with her, and y'all gave me the most beautiful I couldn't have done it better. I couldn't have pictured it better. I wouldn't have changed not a single thing decor-wise about that baby shower. It was stunning. It was beautiful. It was cozy. It was glamour, it was warmth, it was good. It was everything that I wanted it to be. So shout out to all the people who made that happen. Shout out to like Amanda, she's our church kind of coordinator of all events. So I know she helped a lot with working with that, and lots of behind the scene people and all those who cooked the different soups and everything. You guys, I was so excited because I was like, I want soups and sandwiches. I was like, I want cozy vibes. So give me the soups, give me the sandwiches. There was a big oat cake. There was a cookie cake that I requested. There were cake balls that I requested. There was a peanut butter ball that I requested. All these things. You're like, you wanted a lot. I was like, I did. I did want a lot. There was a greenery that I wanted, a background with green. There was a balloon arch that I wanted. There were things there that I didn't mention that I wanted that were there. There was like like, I don't even know how to describe them, but they like these centerpieces that were really beautiful and like had a little bit of like chandelier like quality to them. And y'all know, if you know me, I love chandeliers. I'm a big chandelier person. I have one in my house, in my room, in the room that I'm recording it right now. It's my chandelier. Everybody's like, a chandelier. I'm like, yes, I love chandeliers. And then just everything there, the even the down to the what's the tablecloths. They were different colors, and they had this one that was this beautiful emerald green, and then there was like these sequin things on the green. Oh, you guys, it was just stunning. It was absolutely stunning. And I loved it. I walked in and I was really wowed. Very impressed. So shout out to anyone and everyone who played a part in that. And so from my side of it, so I woke up that morning, and when I was showering, I talked to God, and I was like, God, I was like, this is the baby shower, you know, that thing that I didn't know I'd ever have. That thing that I have been to other people's, I have hosted other people's, I have been behind the scenes, I've, celebrated other people's. I was like, and now I was like, this is for me. And so driving up there, I wasn't nervous, but I was anxious, a little anxious, but I was like, this is for me. I can't believe this. I don't know, surreal is a word, but if I felt very grounded, like I knew it was for me. I knew this was happening. I've had months to think about it. Um, but I was still like, wow, I wanted to live in it. And I was like, okay, this is for me. You can, like, you're showing up at the time it starts. You're not showing up beforehand, as you would if you were hosting. You're not showing up a few minutes late as you normally would if you were just attending. Like, you are showing up, right on time, because this baby shower is for you and for your baby. And I was like, oh my goodness. And so I go up the stairs, greet some people coming in. I'm a little, like, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe this. I don't know what to do." When it's about you, you're like, "Oh my goodness, I don't know what to do. It's about me." Like, "Oh." But my friends took me in, they showed me around, they showed me the decor that they did, the pictures they had posted of Sweet Pea, um, and her ultrasounds and pictures from the gender reveal and the setup, and y'all, I was taken aback. It was so amazing. And then I got around to, like, talking to people and, greeting people, and that was fun. And I did not get to touch base with everybody as much as I wanted to or should have, because you get stuck talking, certain people, and you're just like, yay, but it was so good. And y'all, food-wise, if you've been married, then when you get married at your wedding, you don't really have time to eat, or what you do eat is not enough, and all the food that you wanted, you barely had time to touch. Yeah, that was me. Same with the baby shower. All the food I requested, tell me, like, I didn't even, y'all, I touched it. I ate some of it, like, literally after everybody had eaten, I finally got my plate. Um, but I had eaten some of it, but just like the wedding, it was like I barely remember any of it. And I go back, I'm like, I wanted that. I didn't get enough of that. I had one bite of that. I didn't even get, y'all haven't even had my cookie cake. I do have some home with me now, but I was like, I didn't even get the half the stuff I requested. But I did get some things, and but I was able to eat, and then socialize. So my friends came to church. My school friends that came, I got to take them on a tour around the church, was exciting for me, and it was really great. And then we did some games. People got some prizes, and, like, just seeing that and being able to talk with people, it was great. And then y'all, I had so many gifts. So before the gifts, I knew that I wanted to say something. Like, I knew I wanted to greet everybody and thank them for coming. I knew I wanted to take a moment to pause and to think about why we're here. Like, the event, like, even for me, it can kind of just be an event. I'm just here hanging out with friends. But I wanted to take a moment at my baby shower for everybody, myself included, to be like, you guys, this is bigger than just we're going to a baby shower. Okay. This is bigger than just, oh, look, it's the next person's having a kid. This has been, you know, years, 8+ years in the making, and with lots of heartache and disappointment and pain leading up to it. So I knew I wanted to say something, and I had written something. I was going to write a testimony and, like, make it like a not like a quiz, but I was gonna make it like a fill in the blank or something, and be like, whoever can answer the most of this of my testimony, you get a door prize. But I ended up not doing that. But I had written some things, and I never actually finished it. Like, I never ended it, because I wasn't sure I wanted to share it. I thought about doing just a general overall thank you, but as we got closer, like the day before, I was like, you know what? Maybe I do want to read this. And so the day of, even, I wasn't sure. I knew I wanted to greet everybody, and of course they thank you. Like, I knew that. But I was like, you know what? I do want to read part of my testimony, my story. And so I did. I did read it. Um, and I while I was reading it, first off, let me say, okay, y'all know I would love to be a classy person. Um, when I am very prepared, for the most part, I can be. But when I was like, I'm not sure if I want to read it. I hadn't even really edited this thing yet. I don't even know. But I was like, okay, we'll just jump right in. It is what it is. And so I read it. I knew it was coming. I cried. You guys, I cried. I didn't mean to cry. Y'all, I was shaking. I couldn't breathe. That's embarrassing. Y'all, I went up there huffing and puffing. I went back to listen to the videos, and I was like, you are like between, like, every breath, y'all. I was like, what is this? Now my tummy was full from the food. Like, I'll admit, like, my tummy was full. I had just eaten. But I was so out of breath. My heart was pounding, you guys. Like, it was beating so fast. That was another reason I couldn't breathe. So my heart was pounding, my hands were shaking, I was crying, trying not to cry anyway, and I couldn't breathe. But I was like, you know what, we're gonna get through this. So I felt very unclassy, very just like a kid. I am 36 years old, and I sometimes still feel like an elementary school student standing up giving a presentation. Um, but so I did stand up there and I read what I had written, which I might read here on this episode. We'll see. You guys, if you've listened to the podcast, you know my story. I pretty much, but I gave a very quick rundown of the story. And then I wanted to say, just to remind everybody, like, thank you guys for being with me on the journey, which was the big part. And then afterward, you guys, so which, like I said, I'll probably read this to you guys in a minute, but afterward, because I didn't come up with an ending, I was like, okay, that's it. Thank you. And I just like, if there was a stage, I ran off of it. Okay, picture that. I was in the middle of the room. And afterward, I was like, all right, thank you, bye. And just like literally ran to where the gifts were because I was like, I don't know what else to do. I was tearing up. I was like, I'm just going to go to the gifts. I went to go sit down at the gifts and I was still breathing and I was still crying. And I was like, okay, to give me a gift. But I did grab my first gift and I paused. And even though I know people were, like, ready to leave and because 'cause we'd already been there, like, an hour and a half, right? Almost 2 hours. And I get it, like, I'm one of those who's like, "Yeah, we don't gotta be here all day," but I did pause, and I looked up, and I told everybody, I said, "Wait, pause, pause, pause." I'm huffing, puffing, and people, close to me got quiet, and I said, "You guys," I said, "I'm about to open gifts at my baby shower." And I was like, "I just wanna take this in." And then, of course, I started to cry. And I was like, "I don't wanna cry." And my pastor's wife is like, "It's okay to cry." And I was like, "No, I don't wanna cry." "But okay, I'll cry," and they're like, "This is happy tears, like, this is good." And I was like, thank you." And then I was like, "Okay, let's open gifts." So my first few gifts, I did, like, cry through them because I was like, "You guys, I can't." Like, I was happy, I was sad. And then even, like, halfway through my gifts because and this was something that helped me. I was, trying to get through my gifts because I was like, I know I have a lot of gifts. I know people wanna get out of here. And I looked at my friend, my Emmers, and she was like, "Girl, take your time. This moment's for you." And I was like, "Okay." So I slowed down and I breathed and I was like, "People can leave if they want to leave, whenever. I'm not going to be offended. Like it doesn't bother me in the least, but I am going to sit here and I'm going to open each and every gift and I'm going to show it and I'm going to ooh and ah over it and I'm going to just take it in." And there was one point about halfway through where I did stop one more time. One, because my body was getting tired. So I was doing it for a physical break. But two, I just leaned back and I was like, this is where we are. You know, I am at my baby shower. We made it to the baby shower and we've made it to 28 weeks, right? That's where we are. We're 28 weeks. I mean, we still have some ways to go, but we're getting there. And each week passes, hope grows. You guys, you know. And I was like, this was a milestone. This was an accomplishment. This was something that was on my fall list of things. Definitely baby shower. And I was like, here we are. This this is my first baby shower for me. And so I just looked around. I looked at the people, looked at the faces, and it was y'all, I'm about to tear up now. It was just great. So I kept, opening my gifts, had some friends who stayed to the final, and y'all, it was literally like an hour of opening gifts. Like, by the end, there was, like, just a few people who had stuck around, which I was perfectly fine with. But then we opened gifts, and then we took pictures, and it was everything that I could have wanted. There was nothing more I would have added. Um, there was nothing I would have taken away. It was absolutely phenomenal. Actually, there's some the only thing I would change would be my speech. I would give myself a better ending. Um, I would include the scriptures that I wanted to include, but somehow my eyes skipped over. I would because I was gonna reference, I was like, I know my favorite scripture is Psalm 139, that whole chapter, but the scripture that often gave me hope and promise, it was Psalm 113:9, and specifically the part that says, uh, "He maketh the barren woman to keep house and to be a joyful mother of children." I'm sure y'all have heard me mention that one before, but that was like, that's, been a scripture of mine. And so things like that, like I would always change my part. Like I wouldn't run off the stage. I would practice my breathing so I didn't sound like I had been in a race. I would have slowed down my pace. I would have tried not to shake or cry, all the things. But aside from my own, I'm sure, just beating my own self up for things that don't really matter, um, the whole thing was great. And like I said, I wouldn't change a thing. And the fun part, so the guys, And mine was not a co-ed shower in the sense that I only have the women on my side, but the guys on my husband's side, our church has a gym. And so what we did was the guys went over to the gym and they played basketball and had pizza. And so like spouses and things, they didn't have to hang out during, the baby part, the little sappy part. They got to go play some basketball and get some of that energy out, do what they needed to do. On their side. And so again, I wouldn't change that either. I think that's great for them. I love that they got to do their guy thing, that my husband got to do his thing and then come over and see the gifts and stuff. And he was like, "Ooh, look at these desserts." So he got to come over and enjoy the desserts and all of that. So overall, it was a fantastic baby shower. It was so good. It was so nice. Y'all, I can't believe that we did it, that we're here, that I've had a baby shower. Yeah. My girl, oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to read you guys, and I hope that it will let me. Sometimes when I record and I go off, because I record on my phone, and if I go off my phone, it likes to get a little wonky. So I'm not entirely sure if it will let me read this. So I'm going to try to pull it up, and if it does, you'll hear it, but if not, you'll hear my reason why. So just hang on half a second. All right, I'm back. Okay, so my my phone was like, we're not going to let you record if you're not on the screen. So I got my iPad and I went and took a picture of what I had written. So I will share it with you guys. And then yeah, and then tell you the changes I would make. It will be done. But this is just because why not? And I know I debated sharing at the baby shower, but I was like, this is your baby shower. Like you're allowed to say what you want to say at your baby shower. And I was like, okay, okay. And I'm glad that I did. Honestly, I am. So here's how it goes. My name is Phoebe. I always thought that I would have 3, 5, or 7 kids by the age of 30, but God had a different story. Here's part of it. And then I went into this thing about my husband and I, and his name and stuff like that. Just, y'all, that don't matter. Anyway, so I'm just skip that part. My husband James and I have been married 12 years as of this past summer, and it has been great. James and I decided to start growing our family in the summer of 2017. Little did we know it wouldn't be a light feat of simply doing what married people do. About a year and a half in of trying, I was diagnosed with endometriosis. I went in for surgery and thought all is well. A year and a half past the surgery, we realized that there were more issues. My faith was starting to get shaky at this point. I was getting that sinking feeling that I was heading into a trial or season that wasn't going to be easy or pleasant, one that was going to break me down and reshape me from my core. And I was right. Right before going to the specialist, I got pregnant. I thought God had answered my prayers, and He had, but my story wasn't over. That pregnancy ended in an early miscarriage. Devastated, I continued to meet on with a fertility specialist. We tried different methods and failed. After 3 years of failed attempts, multiple consultations, many dashed hopes, and an overflow of tears, we decided to try additional treatments with the idea that if these weren't successful, we'd move on. Well, in the summer of 2024, we became pregnant again for the second time in my life. I was past 30. Blech. We made it through the first trimester, but unfortunately, due to medical issues such as an incompetent cervix and immutable thrombocytopenia, I think that's how you say that, ITP, my water broke in my early second trimester, and I gave birth to my daughter, Elena Noel, on October 6th. She is loved and missed every day. After her loss, I grieved. I still do. But God carried me. I had no choice but to let Him. About 6 months later, we tried again, and I became pregnant. However, similar to my first pregnancy, it ended in an early miscarriage. But we didn't give up. In early summer of this past year, we worked with our fertility specialist and became pregnant once more with this baby, with my Phoenix. And yes, that's her name. She does not have a middle name. I shared that. I was like, we don't have a middle name yet, but I am naming her Phoenix. And I said, one, because my mom is Phyllis, I'm Phoebe, and she'll be Phoenix. And two, because I do like the idea of like life after death. I had put her, I had put in ChatGPT kind of like Phoenix and the symbolism of that. And y'all came up with some beautiful stuff. I was like, oh my goodness. And I was going to share that, but like I said, I never went back to like edit. And so I did not include that, but it was just some beautiful stuff with that name. But anyway, okay. Due in January. Phoenix is part of the promise of God. She is a piece of the story or a puzzle in the image that God is creating in my life. I love her dearly. I think she's great. I'm so excited for her. But she's just part of the miracle that God is unraveling in my life. Dare I say, He's been doing little miracles every step of the way. He's let me know that He's been by my side from day one, from the first negative pregnancy test to the 90th plus. And I told people, I was like, to get that number, you do 12, which is the months of the year, times the 8 years I've doing it, minus the 3 pregnancy tests that actually were positive, da, 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 da. Y'all, 90 plus. But anyway, um, so from the first pregnancy test to the 90th, I said, through the preached word of pastor and merit, through the written word, reading scriptures, and through you, all the people there, through the smiles, the touches, the hugs, the text, the encouragement, the gifts, the listening, the grieving, and rejoicing with me. He has shown me that every moment of this journey, and y'all, I don't know how I missed this part. Look, this is pretty. Look, is unveiling the beauty of his nature. Y'all, I didn't say that there. I don't even know what I said. I think I was too busy crying that I missed that part, but I was like, yes. And then I said, I continued to write more hard moments and disappointing moments. And I talked about God a little bit in my what I had written, but what I had said, I was like, and that's all of you guys, and that's where I didn't know how I wanted to end. So I was kind of like, so thank you guys for being with me. I was like, He has shown me that He's been with me this whole time through your actions, and I think I said, they say that his body or his hands and his feet, and I said, you guys have been that for me. You have shown me that He has been here through that, and I just want to say thank you. And so I ended there, which you think would be good, but I was like, thank you, bye. The way I said it wasn't so classy. It was like, I just want to say thank you so much. You guys have meant so much. That would have been great, but no, I was like, okay, thank you. Anywho, but anyway, and then like if I would have kept going, I would have mentioned about my scriptures and stuff, but alas, I had ended there, and like I said, I would have edited more. I would have included you guys. I did want to throw out there something for the people who I know who attended who are hurting, because I know, because I've been there, that you may go to a baby shower and you may be smiling and you're rejoicing with somebody and you love them and you're rejoicing with them, but you're grieving on the inside because of things either you've lost or you've felt. And that's so real. And I wanted to, I guess, give a special moment for those people to say thank you for coming. And I've been there, and I hope that like God will show you that He sees exactly where you are. He knows what you're feeling, and he's gonna be there for whatever you need. He'll give you what you need. I wanted to say something like that, but like alas, hindsight 2020. But I did want to address that because I'm like I've been there so many times, and I was gonna be like, even if it's not even related to wanting to have a baby, even if it's just life, life hurts sometimes, but you still gotta show up for other people. And sometimes when you show up for other people when life hurts, you just feel like, gosh, I feel so alone, or nobody sees this, or nobody sees this effort. And I'm like, you know what? God sees it. He sees the effort you made to show up for somebody when your own heart hurts. He sees every time you do it. And I think He'll honor that and bless that in whatever way that He chooses to. But I know He sees it, and I know He loves it, because that, I think, is a reflection of His character. I mean, He's the ultimate guy who showed up in the middle of suffering, right? For other people. So anywho, so yeah, so you guys, so that was the baby shower. It went really well. Like I said, I have a school one coming up in a couple weeks, like a baby brunch. I'm excited about that too. Y'all, I can't believe we're getting to that point. By the next episode, I believe I'll be 30 weeks. You guys will be in the 30s. I'm just now hitting like, third trimester. I don't have any really new symptoms other than crying. I think hormones came into play. um, but yeah, so yeah, but things are still looking good. Doctors are still monitoring platelets and stuff. We're still figuring things out there. But so far things are looking good. Phoenix is looking good. And yeah, I'm we're getting there. We're getting there. That's where we are. I am excited. Um I'm still taking it literally day by day, week by week, moment by moment. Excited to mark things off my list of fall. Excited, really excited to write things for winter, you guys. But overall, just feeling very blessed, feeling good, and hopeful. So anyway, so guys, thank you guys so much for listening again. Y'all, I can't believe we're in November. What in the world? Anyway. Thank y'all so much for listening. I hope you have an amazing next couple of weeks. Oh, y'all remember how last time I told you guys to like look at the trees because the leaves, they're pretty. Y'all, you got like a week left. Like half the leaves are gone. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, no, we still need pretty leaves. So if you haven't done that, you don't have a lot of time. Those leaves are quickly going, and once they off them trees, they gone. Okay, so enjoy them while you can. Maybe enjoy them from the inside because if you enjoy them from the outside you might get sick like me. Anywho, again, thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you have an amazing next couple of weeks. And yeah, I'll catch y'all in a bit.